Welcome to the Carlito Show. Hey, man, I got a special guest here. Well, hold on. I can't leave out my boy Hakeem Hill. This man putting it all together, man. This man is a genius, all right? Make sure you have him on your list, all right? He that man. Also, who you need on your team is Mr. Preston from
Sawhorse Studios, right here in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, baby.
South Side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you do at the studio, Sawhorse?
That's one of the most fun parts about working here is every day's different. What do I do here? I'm I guess audio engineer would be the easiest way to explain it. But I mean, last night I had a Sirius XM radio show in. After you guys, I have Christian hip hop coming in. I'm doing this right now. Earlier today, I had a producer that he makes beats, but he also likes to incorporate guitars and he's not as good of a keyboard player as I am, so he brings me ideas and we kind of collaborate and so every day's a little different. Yeah, that's part of the fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, so I know every producer and engineer has their do's and don'ts. So when people come to the studio, what do you say, man, hey, have y'all stuff together, or what do you want to see the most and what do you least like?
Well, I like to be efficient and I like to work fast. So of course being prepared is the easiest way to do that. There's a lot of people I work with that some people don't always have the luxury of being able to be prepared. If you're bringing in people from out of town, or if people have lives and jobs and kids, and so sometimes people can't be as prepared as you'd like them to be, but then things just take a little longer.
Yeah.
And so that's I feel like you kind of answered it.
Okay.
That's a big one. Yeah.
So what influenced you to what was the first step into getting into the studio?
Yeah, that would make you say, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. Sure. Well, I feel like most people who work at studios have the same kind of story as far as, you start in a band and then you start recording your rehearsals and then you get a little better at it and then your friends want you to record their bands and then, if you do something 100 times, you're going to be better at it than the first time. And if you do something 1,000 times, you're going to be better at it than the 100th time. And, it's kind of a nerdy game. There's a lot to dive into if you want to get technical. And it's kind of easy to get deep into the world. The other guy who works here at the studio actually is one of the few cases that got in through kind of the electronics. He's more of a tinkerer and an electronics guy and got into the studio through that. But 95% of the people you meet at studios started out as a musician of some sort and then kind of transitioned into the studio world, kind of into the behind the scenes from being on the stage to backstage kind of thing.
Well, this is what I always wanted to ask a lot of producers and engineers. I'm more sure you ran across artists that suck. You know what I mean? They paying money, that's business.
I think there's some big artists that are on the radio that I would qualify as
right?
Suck, yeah.
So what do you when you run across some type of people? Do you say anything or kind of take low key shots? How do you handle it?
Oh no, that wouldn't be professional at all. What are you talking about?
Low key shots.
Low key shots.
This guy sucks.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'm talking shit to their friends in the other room. No, I think my job's usually to whatever somebody brings me is to help it be as good as it can be, and sometimes as good as it can be isn't great, but I if I can take somebody's ideas and all I can do is offer suggestions and try to help, and if they don't want to take my suggestions, or if they just don't have a good ear or don't have rhythm, or there's people out there that's why are you doing this? You're just not a very good singer. Maybe you're good at something else. but no, you try to. That's what's nice about the studio is. In the studio, you have the luxury of time. It's not like when you're on stage and you mess up and everybody sees you. You can do 20 takes here, and you do it until you get it right. And as long as the artist is open to it, it's I'm willing to push for it to be better. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Okay,
you taught me that.
It's the nice thing about the studio, and
You ran across artists. You kept it professional. If they sounded sucky or not. Now, how do you handle a situation, or have you ever been in a situation where the artist or maybe the entourage has been a little bit, how I want to say, a little extra? Or
yeah, for sure. I don't know that I want to get into those stories. There's been very few sessions that have gone totally left, and you know, where I've had to like kick people out and stuff. It's happened a couple times. People get rowdy, or and some people and I, you know, just last week I had a birthday party in here. This local artist, his cousin knows that he records with me. His cousin's an artist too, so I work with both of them. And she bought him for his birthday just an all night kind of come in here, and they brought cake in, and you know, had all the friends down, and it was great. It was totally fun. I don't mind if there's a room full of people. Now you got to understand that if there's a room full of people, you're not going to be near as productive, and it's going to go slower. So it's like some people think, well, I can do a song in 2 hours. It's like, well, you can if you're focused, but if you bring a bunch of people and everybody's drinking and partying and stuff, that's cool too. That 2 hours probably isn't going to happen at that point, you know? Or you know, I'm just saying 2 hours as a example, but however, you know, things just take time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, you had a question, you about to hear them?
No, all the questions have been answered.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad that you were here on our show.
Okay, is the show done? Oh, you sound like you're wrapping up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just.
Are you wrapping up?
No, it's your show.
Mr. Producer, we wrapping up? Now, I'm also a musician, a producer as well. So, you know, we have, if we have a memoir, we can write a book. Oh, people will be like, what the heck goes on in this type of lifestyle? So, speaking of that type of lifestyle, like, I have approached it, well, it approached me, and well, I guess it's been both ways, where there have been sessions going on and it gets a little bit sexual, you know what I mean? So in cases like those, like, you know, from other artists or whatever, and it's like, man, I'm trying to remain professional. So
sure, I'm trying to think of an example where that's happened. I used to work with an R&B guy that used to like take his shirt off in the booth and stuff. But that was, I think, mostly because he was taking selfies and stuff, and one was going for that like ladies' man kind of vibe. I can't think of when things have turned sexual. Maybe I'm not sexy enough to have had any encounters like that.
What about you, Carlito?
That wasn't
like you got some stories, right?
Yeah, you know, it's Nancy Rebels. It speaks for itself, okay? It's a lot of stuff. So I was just like, man, like, I've been in other sessions in other studios, and like every producer have like shy away from stuff, or you just got some just already that participated.
Well, one thing that we haven't touched on that I think is kind of important to a lot of these questions that you're asking.
Okay.
Is here at Sawhorse, we're a private studio. We're it's pretty much me that runs this studio and Jason that runs the other side of the building. Okay. Jason owns the building. So he's kind of like my landlord. But we only work with, you know, he's been in the game 10 years longer than me. I've been doing it for next year it'll be 20 years, I guess. Okay. I've been here for 14 years in this building, and I worked at a studio called Jupiter before this. Jupiter was a public studio, so Jupiter, like, anybody could walk in and book time, or just call the line, and you talk to the secretary. She'd take a deposit and put you on the schedule. You never even met me, so you wouldn't meet me until the day of the session. We operate very differently at this studio. At this studio, I know everybody I work with, and I have a clientele of people that I've been working with for years. And I do take new stuff, but when I do take something new, it's through someone that I already know almost 100% of the time. So, you know, if somebody called me and say, "Oh, I'm a friend of Hakeem's," I'll be okay. Well, like we there's a connection there. So it's like if you do something and piss me off, I'm going to come to Hakeem. And be like, well, why'd you send that guy to me, bro?
Right.
I told you not to do that, Carlito.
And I'll call people and be like, "Hey, your friend called me. Like, is this guy cool?" Like, and and you know, just kind of be like, "You vouch for this dude," and and so it's like you know, you're asking questions about people showing up with posses and you know, acting crazy, and I don't really have. At the old studio, when it was open to the public, we had stuff like that go down because, like, people are crazy.
Yes,
there's,
they
a
are.
there's a bunch of crazy people out there in the world. But here, since we're so private, I mean, you notice when you pulled up out front, we don't have a sign. Like, it looks like an empty warehouse. It's it's
very discreet.
Just low key. We keep it real low key. Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, that is.
We love it. So I think that also helps just take care of the problem
Kinda
before
weed
they even start. Yeah.
So I guess this is a no-brainer then. So you like the private part of this, or you like the public?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Yeah,
Okay.
I absolutely like. We have. I live in my little room with no windows. It's like a casino in here. It's always the same. It's just always. I have the vibe that I have set up, and I think it's a comfortable space, and I like inviting people into my space to create.
That's right. All right, and I love it.
By the way, the song that we did, that was like one of the best quality songs I feel that we've ever recorded together.
And what's the name of that song?
Goldilocks. I love it. I've never listened to a song on repeat so much.
I'm glad you're glad. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I get the same way. I'll listen to stuff on repeat. Like I'll listen to something until I'm sick of it. Like if there's something that I like, or something that, like, if somebody came in here and like did something really cool that impresses me, like, I'll just like listen to it on a loop.
Especially if the song's short. That's a benefit of these modern times.
You said modern times, and you're absolutely right. Things are getting shorter and shorter.
Like songs are turning into commercials. It feels like you're like, was that a song or was that a commercial?
Short attention span.
Yeah, exactly. But I like it though.
Yep. All righty. Well, I mean, I'm gonna ask one last question, and then we done, folks. All right. One last question. Since we talked about Goldilocks, and I guess I already got my answer though, but what do you personally feel about Goldilocks, the song?
I'd have to go back and listen to it again.
Okay, well,
I thought you were gonna be like, well, how do you feel about my part?
Right. All right, well, you guys will definitely be hearing that soon. So we got to wrap it up here, man. You see, man, we're always busy. We got things going on. So we appreciate you guys. Love you guys for tuning in. Again, this is Mr. Preston from Sawhorse, man. Just a dude right here. So like I said, it's private. If you want to get with him, you better know somebody to get through, baby. All right? I don't want to bore y'all. I'm going to put it down here. You see it. That's where it's going to be at. Look it up. Get at us. Book it if you want to be interviewed by us, or just hook up with us. Hey, get at us. You got your boy here, Mr. Hakeem here, Carlito. Love y'all. Peace out, baby.